Aloha and welcome. I'm David Molinaro, Acting Director of HCAT. I have a short presentation for you discussing what's transpiring in Hawaii with hydrogen, as well as sharing a bit about HCAT and what we do. First, however, I'd like to say thank you to the Hawaii Okinawa Clean Energy Partnership for this opportunity. Your leadership and direction in guiding renewable energy adoption, in particular hydrogen and fuel cell technology, and bringing that conversation to the forefront of the renewable energy discussion is very much appreciated. The American author Mark Twain wrote of Hawaii, "No alien land in all the world has any deep, strong charm for me, but that one, no other land could so longingly and so beseechingly haunt me, sleeping and waking through half a lifetime as that one is done." We are truly an island like no other and must contend with the tyranny of time and distance. And this slide illustrates a phrase often lamented by residents here. It's the price of living in paradise. Again, Hawaii is a state in the Pacific, and because of its geographically isolated nature from the US mainland, and the fact that it does not have any petroleum resources, oil, natural gas, or coal of its own, its unique energy infrastructure and consumption is unique among the states. And in fact, Hawaii imports probably 94% of its energy and about spending almost $3.5 billion to import foreign oil into the state. Hawaii depends more on petroleum for its energy needs than any other state. For comparison, less than 1% of the electricity in the United States is generated using oil. By contrast, Hawaii relied on oil for 67% and for coal, and relied on coal to the tune of 15% for its electricity generation. Hawaii's heavy dependence on imported petroleum for electricity, its isolated island grids, and the unique challenge that the state has in generating power really forces prices of electricity to the point of 2 to 3 times the national average. So meeting the state's 100% 2045 RPS, 100% RPS goals requires energy solutions that are cost effective, resilient, and reliable. However, Hawaii is also uniquely blessed with abundant renewable energy, especially solar, which we believe is the highest per capita in the nation, with 850 megawatts of installed PV. However, as this slide shows, the infamous duck curve or belly is becoming more problematic. What to do with that excess PV, it really boils down to supply and demand. And what I want to just depict here briefly is this upper line is a graph from 2008. On the lower line, as you move down to this deeper red, is the duck belly is only getting more significant in 2018. We believe, as this group I'm sure does, is that hydrogen can be an important energy storage and power production medium to resolve that problem. So one of the areas that we could is that H2 can and should be considered as a grid scale management tool, especially on long-term storage conditions that are needed in utility grids. The main takeaway from this slide, it's pretty complex, is that the bigger the battery energy storage system, the more costly it becomes. So on the left, you've got the vertical axis, you've got the levelized cost of energy increasing and hours of storage. And again, the takeaway is battery technology is very expensive. The more power requirements, the more hours of storage needed, the more costly it becomes. Conversely, or on the other hand, fuel cells and steel tanks, traditional technologies, again, the cost is much less than what is currently experienced with battery technology. And if we can even get into fuel cells in geologic caverns where there's copious amounts of storage, the cost becomes even more more cost effective to use hydrogen technology. Hydrogen production and storage can support demand response as demand response tools for grid management is an aspect as well. Hydrogen can mitigate curtailment and grid management costs by allowing real-time demand response to changes in electricity production. And the third bullet too is that hydrogen products can create new revenue streams to producers. And we'll talk a little bit about that in upcoming slides. As mentioned, we are really blessed with other renewable energy sources. We also have some great industry, civic, and business leaders who see the potential and future of hydrogen in the state. And again, just depicting on this slide, we do have geothermal, abundant amount of PV and wind potential. We are also have industries such as companies like Hawaii Gas who really see the vision and the potential for Hawaii for hydrogen development and use within the state in producing energy. And in those various sectors where hydrogen can be used, for example, airports is a developing area within ground support equipment using hydrogen fuel cell technologies. Public transit, many of you, all of you, are probably well familiar with public transit and the relationship with public transit buses and hydrogen fuel cell capability. HCAT is involved with military infrastructure. I'll talk a little bit about that in the briefing. Ports and maritime, that's another great area for growth and potential within the state. We have actually demonstrated and tested a maritime fuel cell, and we also see a big potential for the tourism industry as well in utilization of hydrogen technology. Let's transition a bit and tell you about what HCAT is doing and its role in this transformation. Our vision is really about energy for change, and CH2ANG really is there to emphasize that our vision is that hydrogen plays a very important role, a critical role in the expansion and development of renewable energy within the state. Our mission is to inspire and transform Hawaii's clean energy future, and the four main aspects of that mission. One is to innovate solutions to meet the state's 2045 RPS, continue to accelerate the adoption of hydrogen and fuel cell technologies, continue to build on those relationships that we currently have with the state, the Department of Defense, public and private sectors. And a very important aspect is to educate and influence Hawaii to be leaders in hydrogen technology. HCAT has been supporting the United States Air Force in the electrification of transportation since 1993, and we collaborate with the Air Force Research Lab, the National Guard on our projects. We are 100% federally funded via congressional ad money and received outstanding support by our legislators over the past decades. We are a state agency, which makes us very unique, but we collaborate with the Department of Business, Economic Development, Tourism, the Hawaii Technology Development Corporation, and the State Energy Office, just to name a few. Our other key partners are the National Guard Bureau, the Hawaii National Guard, and the Navy Facilities Command. I would be remiss if I did not mention our other key partners who continue to provide the magic of what we do. Millennium Rain, US Hybrid, Hawaii Gas, HNU, and A&E firm Burns & McDonnell are just to mention a few of the key partners in support of what we do. So let me show you one of our projects, one of our main focuses. This is our hydrogen station at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, which is the first hydrogen station in the military. It's gone through a few iterations since its inception. Some key points on this hydrogen station that it produces up to 65 kilograms a day. It's grid tied to 146 kilowatt PV array, can dispense at both 350 and 700 bar, and stores well in excess of 300 kilograms of hydrogen, high as 10,000 psi. And again, this slide just depicts the station as it currently exists right now at Hickam. Some of the very innovative fuel cell electric vehicle projects that HCAT's demonstrated over the years are depicted here. The upper left is a distinguished visitor surrey. It's a shuttle for visitors at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam. The upper right is the fuel cell weapons loader, again being demonstrated here by the Air Force Research Laboratory. The lower left is the secure power on demand vehicle. It's a fuel cell powered step van with import and export power capabilities, which is very useful in disaster and emergency response operations. The lower right is one of my favorites. It's a U-30 aircraft tow tractor tug, and in this picture is pulling a KC-135 aircraft of the Hawaii National Guard, weighs 186,000 pounds. That tug, just some specs there. It's a 30 kilowatt hydrogen fuel cell with a 28 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery. It's got about 10 kilograms of storage. And it's a very, very unique capability. And we're excited about using and continuing to use this more in the upcoming Air National Guard missions. I did mention briefly in a previous slide about a maritime fuel cell demonstration project that was done. This was a first of a kind project. It was a multi-agency collaborative effort between HCAT, HNEI, the Hawaiian Natural Energy Institute, Young Brothers, the Department of Energy, MARAD, Coast Guard, and ABS. Very interesting project, very successful demonstration of the potential of hydrogen to support power generation in a maritime environment. The other major focus of HCAT is PEARL, the Pacific Energy Assurance and Renewables Lab microgrid, which is about bringing energy security and resiliency to the military infrastructure. This is a test bed for the Department of Defense and a prototype and business development model for the state of Hawaii. The campus depicted in green incorporates about 3 megawatts of PV, which was the impetus for developing this microgrid. It's a cyber-secure design, which will allow the 154th Wing leadership to shift loads throughout the campus, depending on mission requirements. And it's a very unique capability. We should be commissioning this system in the next few months, and we're really excited about the potential of that utility. The next immediate phase after commissioning is going to be to develop a hydrogen utility scale system to support this project. We want to use hydrogen generation, storage, and energy production to provide additional energy diversity and resiliency to the F-22 mission, and also to augment our fuel cell electric vehicle fleet as well. Some of the major bullets or objectives of the project are depicted here. It's really about energy assurance, resiliency. PEARL also serves as a prototype for developing distributed energy generation, storage, and control. And I think probably one of the most important is really it supports and serves as a technology and business development laboratory to complement the state's RPS goals. So what are some of the additional H2 initiatives in Hawaii and some of those key players? I'd like to mention Toyota Servco. Hawaii, they established the first public H2 refueling station on the island of Oahu and supporting their current fleet of Mirai vehicles. Hawaii Gas has done some remarkable work in supporting hydrogen technology integration, currently injecting up to 15% of hydrogen and utilizing that for SNG production as well. Hawaii Natural Energy Institute is well known throughout the world for their efforts. One of them is developing right now, they're developing 3 hydrogen buses and hydrogen refueling station on the Big Island to support their public transportation requirements. Our Hawaii legislators have been very supportive of hydrogen technology. There were a couple of bills that were introduced last year. One was for the development of 2 public hydrogen refueling stations. They've also provided some tax incentives for fuel cell bus conversions. Both were introduced prior to the state's COVID-19 economic challenges. And we're looking forward to moving forward with both those bills in the later years. As I'd mentioned in our slides, one of the important things HCAT does is education and outreach. And I wanted just to show you a little bit about what we do in that area. I'm going to build this slide out here. Here we've got a couple of vehicles, or a couple of commercial off-the-shelf generators, excuse me, a hydrogen fuel cell generator and a hydrogen fuel cell light cart. Generator, as you can see on the left, is being used to set up and power a decontamination tent for a Hawaii National Guard emergency response team exercise. In the middle is a mobile light cart, which was used at a City of Honolulu event. Other demonstration projects, we had a great time powering an Eat the Street food truck festival, providing lighting for that event. We supported Hawaii Gas's renewable natural gas facility dedication ceremony, and we were also a part of the Kapolei City Lights tree lighting ceremony. So again, just a depiction of some of the community efforts that HCAT is doing to support hydrogen technology and education, outreach, and development. One of the things we really love about HCAT and doing community outreach is getting with kids. Kids get it. They understand the technology. They want to utilize it. They want it in their future. And here is a depiction of a electric vehicle that was converted to with a hydrogen fuel cell, a hydrogen storage tank, a PV panel. This particular group was a bunch of motivated, dedicated kids from the Centers for Tomorrow's Leaders. Did a great job putting this vehicle together. It's been running for quite some time and really enjoyed the efforts that they put into developing this project. We also, again, will continue to connect with the military and industry through meetings, business development ideas and concepts, research and development projects in moving Hawaii forward. We also have some videos online that really talk about hydrogen fuel cell technology and microgrid technology as well too, as part of our community outreach efforts. So what's the path forward that HCAT sees in supporting hydrogen technology within the state? We want to continue the transition of hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles and technologies. We want to move it from demonstration to really actual mission support for the Air Force and ultimately for the Department of Defense. We want to continue to expand on the alliance with other military entities to further hydrogen technology capabilities within the Pacific. We also want to support the state's hydrogen development, including expansion of public refueling stations, integrating hydrogen technology into the existing sectors, and developing infrastructure and new capabilities and concepts. Fostering hydrogen training, education, and policy development in the state is a must. The more we talk about, the more we educate, the more we promote hydrogen technologies, the better off we will be in adapting this technology in the future. And I think one of the more important things too that's often overlooked is we really need to also educate through techno and economic analysis of hydrogen technologies, the potential they have in the different sectors, whether it be airports, ports, energy storage, tourism. Again, continuing that analysis and that development is very, very important. Here's our website. You can check us out on website or our social media. You can follow us on social media with LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. Lots of great information out there for us, for you to utilize. That's the end of my presentation. Really appreciate the opportunity to present to this esteemed group. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at hcat@htdsata.org. Aloha and mahalo. Take care.